pretty girl, to the pretty girl.
So hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kenna and I'm Cameroonian YouTuber based in Douala, Cameroon. If this is your first time seeing my face, you're very welcome. Oh my god, I've said this so much until I feel like it's a song. That's how bad it is. So yes, today I'm talking about mommies and I'll be giving you guys 7 tips on how to manage your time as a mother. When you have kids, guys, like 24 hours seems small to you, for you to have to do everything that you have to do and then rest and all that. So that's what I want to talk about. And the first thing I just want to say, the first point that I obviously want to talk about is just the fact that just know that perfection is over. From the time you have kids, if you're a perfectionist, if you always like things to be like this, like as in fact things must go like this, it's over. You can no longer make things to be perfect until those children probably get older. Perfection time is over. If you used to be that woman who is like, I like my things to go straight, exactly, everything has to my sister, it's over. Perfection time is over. You will arrange, the kids will scatter. You will do this, the kids will go this way. Things cannot go like that. Perfection time is over. It was possible when you were single or when you were just on your own in your house with your husband. It was possible. But right now with kids in your house, there's no such thing as perfection. You have to put that in your mind. I don't know if you are not one of those people who does not want to accept it. I can slap it into your brain like perfection time is over. Just sit and relax and go with the flow. I'm not saying that you should sit and leave your house to look like a jungle because Keda said perfection time is over. I'm just telling you that you have to be more lax, because no matter what you do, kids will always be kids. Kids are going to scatter. Kids are going to jump up, jump down and rumble up the place. So just forget about perfection. Just ensure that your house is neat and clean. And next point is motivate your kids to clean up after their mess. Okay, what do I mean by this? Motivate your kids, as in if your kids dirty something, ask them to clean it up. I'm not telling you to go and ask your kids to start dry cleaning your house and sweeping children for 2, 3, 4 years old. No, that's not what I'm saying. Where do you put it? Where are you supposed to put it?
The kitchen.
Where in the kitchen?
The dustbin.
Good boy, good man. I'm just saying that if your kid, for example, my kids, let me give a good example. My kids, they throw the pillows on the ground, they eat and they leave their food on the plate, on their table. They come into the house, they throw their shoes around, like just things like that. You have to motivate them to clean up after their mess. When they throw dirt, you tell them, pick up the pillows, go and keep your plates in the sink. When they eat their yogurt and their sweets and their drinks, you tell them to throw the dirt in the trash. So they have it in their minds like, okay, I'm not just supposed to throw things like this. Sometimes like my son, like Kaden now, he already knows that if he eats and he throws it there, he's just wasting his time, because eventually he's going to come and carry it. So what he does is when he finishes eating something, he just goes and runs to the trash and throws it. So those things don't happen magically, because some people are like, how did you do it? How does your child throw dirt in the sink or in the trash? How do your kids eat and take your plates to the kitchen? How do they do this? It just starts from the beginning. You just start training them from the beginning. By the time that they even want to get to 6, 7 years old, they already know that that is what they're supposed to do. So they're not going to be throwing things up all around the place. So just teach them, motivate them, like, okay, when you throw, you pick. When you do that, you're going to see that time that you'd have finished cleaning and cooking, because for me, for example, I could be cooking and they're in the parlor, they throw everything. That time that I would have used to come now to start picking things, I can do something else, because I'll ask them, pick it up, they pick it up and I do something else. It's that simple. The next thing that I do to manage my time is that every day before the day begins, I do a to-do list. Sometimes I don't necessarily have to write it, but I have it in my brain, like, okay, I'm supposed to do this, and you always have to prioritize. You know the things that you must do, as in you have to do it on that day. But what I do is I always try to make a list that I know I will try my best to accomplish everything on that list. Okay, so the next thing I do to manage my time is to prepare things the day before. This is what I simply mean by preparing things the day before. An example is every day before Kaden goes to school, as in if he has to go to school tomorrow, what I do is just to take out every single thing that he has to use, every single thing. And generally I don't remove just his clothes. I take off Monique's clothes, I take off Myra's clothes, sometimes I take off even my own clothes, because I just want to ensure that we don't go late the next day. So I take off everything, and when I say everything, I mean sometimes it depends on what he's going to take for lunch to school. If it's just a day for biscuits and stuff like that, I just put it at once in the bag. I put his water, I pack it, and I keep. I take his uniform out, I take his socks, his underwear, every single thing that he's supposed to wear, and put everything just like that for everybody before I go. This is because I am completely aware that sometimes, guys, things happen when you are not. Anything can happen. Sometimes all of his socks might be dirty and you are not aware, and then you sit now the next day in the morning, you get frustrated. It's just to ensure that what that he's supposed to use, it is fine. So when you're picking it out, you obviously remember, like, okay, this thing is not fine, so I have to get another one, or I have, if his socks are dirty or if the uniform is dirty, you could still wash it and wait for, and it gets dry before the next day. So that's what I always do. I always prepare. I'm always thinking, like, I always plan. I don't leave it like to just get up the next day in the morning like, oh my god, what will you have for breakfast, what will you like? No, I don't. I always plan. Even on days like Sundays, I used to get up on Sunday evenings. I used to like prepare everything that I have to use to cook, because I always say we go to church at 7, so I always prepare what we are supposed to eat the day on Saturday in the evening. So I get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and cook before we go to church. It's just that now I decided that is stressful. I used to do that and it was successful for 2 kids, but having the 3rd kid now, I saw that it's a little stressful for me, because there's a 3rd child, and it was no longer time effective. So I decided now to start cooking. Every Saturday I cook 2 pots of food. I put one in the freezer, and then we eat one on Sunday. Now when we come back from church, we eat the 2nd pot of food. So that's just it. It's just about, it's like, just prepare the thing ahead of time, so that if there are any issues, if there's anything, any unforeseen thing, you're going to see it ahead of time and you fix it. Next thing is to be organized. I have a thing for organization. I like when everything is in its place, not in a perfectionist kind of way, but to an extent. But guys, I just feel that when everything has its place, when everything is where it's supposed to be, it makes things so easy for you. If you're disorganized, it's going to be so stressful for you to be on time. Because, for example, let's just say that clothes are jumbled up, shoes are under the bed, and you have to go out with your child, or you have to take your child to school, or you have to go to church or something, and then it's at that moment that you want to start looking for that thing. You're going to take like 10, 15, even 20 minutes more than the actual time you would have taken if things were organized. If your child comes back from school, they use their shoe, you clean the shoe, you put it where his shoes are supposed to be. If you know that you put everything where it's supposed to be. That is my principle. That's what makes life so easy. You don't have to come back to start rearranging. It's true, sometimes I scatter. I'm not saying that I don't scatter. Sometimes I scatter, but most parts, when I scatter, I still come back and arrange at that same moment. Everything has its place, because when things get missing, when you are not organized, oh my god, you're going to regret it. So I try, and with the kids on top of that, it is not easy. We just got keys for all the doors in the room. So what I do to remain organized is that I put everything where it's supposed to be, and then we lock all the doors. If we're sitting in the parlor, you hardly hear that I'm in the parlor and then the kids are in the room. No, except there's somebody with them. If I'm in the parlor, we close all the doors to all the 3 rooms, and we sit. Sometimes even the bath, we close all the doors, because you could just be in your sitting room relaxing while the kids are in the room making a mess. So that's just what I do to ensure that I'm organized. I distract them with anything. If I'm watching TV and I know that they are going to disturb me, I just distract them with something. Like I could put them a movie on my laptop, or I bring out a couple of their toys and I put at one corner of the house, and I'm like, okay, you guys should be playing with these things in this place. So that is just what I mean when it comes to organization. For me, like, the most important thing for all these things that I've said is organization. If your kids' clothes are folded well, you know that singlets are here, pants are here, socks are here, the uniform is here, everything is in its place. You know that they always keep their body lotion here, their bathing soap is here, their towels are here. Like, you know where everything is. It's easy because when you want to bathe them, you just go, you just take the towel, take this, take, you bathe them, finish, you put everything back where it's supposed to be, and you come out. Guys, it's organization that has saved me. I can tell you, if anybody asks me this, I can tell you, organization. I was not the organized person like that, but what has saved me as a mom of 3, what has made me to be able to go through, is just the fact that I organize. And my organizational skills have tripled since I had kids, because I saw that if I wanted to remain all scattered, it cannot work, you cannot go. So you being a mom and you are all over the place, your kids' things are everywhere, your own things, your husband thing, it's going to stress you. So just take out time to organize. If you organize your things, guys, it's going to be so easy. And when you organize, to make it easy, you don't scatter, is that as you use, you put, as you take the toothpaste, you put it back where the toothpaste is supposed to be. As you take this thing, you put it back, life's going to be so easy. So I don't spend a lot of my time trying to fold and refold and pack and repack, because I always try to be as organized as possible. A routine too is very important, and I think a routine too can be set like it's part of organization. You have a routine, like, you know that every morning when you get up, the kids take their breakfast, they take their bath, you dress them up, they do the, like, you know that things go like this. A routine with your chores. When you have a routine, and you are determined to follow, because it's not easy. When you have a routine and you're determined to follow, you see that things will go faster and you finish your work faster. Because like me, I know my routine. Okay, every morning I get up. Let me just brief you guys with my routine. Every morning I get up. If none of the kids are up, I put their water to bathe on the fire. I start making their breakfast. I make their breakfast, finish, and then I put it on the table. Majority of the time they eat before even taking their bath, so they come when they are eating. I now just do a little cleanup if I'm supposed to clean up, or I make the beds and just stuff like that. By the time that they finish eating, their water to bathe is hot. I take them, give them their bath, they dress up, we prepare, we go and leave Caden at school. I come back, I start cooking. But when I'm finished cooking, I'm practically done for the day, so I have time for myself. Like, that's just like the basic thing. Yes, there are some days that I have different things to do, but this is like my main program for the days. When you have a routine, you're going to see that by this time every day you're done. Like, every day, no matter how bad, it's just that these days I've been really lazy, but every day by 10-11 I'm done. You can relax all through, and you know that you can pick up again just at 4-5 to start your routine of their night routine. So that's basically it. You have to have a routine. Routines help a lot. And when I say routine, it's not like if you don't do it like this you die. It's true that some days you get flexible and you have to do things in another way, but when you have that routine in your mind, it helps you, and you see that you manage more time than if you just get up and you're like, what will I do first? Let me just bathe them. No, I'll do, like, you get confused and you waste time. Another thing, last but not least, is that which kind of mother are you if you cannot multitask, guys? You have to learn how to be doing homework while breastfeeding, while sweeping with one leg. Like, what you can if you cannot multitask, you are in deep trouble, except you have one child. Even if you have one child, it's going to be so difficult. So you have to learn the act of multitasking. Multitasking is very, very important. You have to know how to do like 10 things at a time, appropriately though, because there are some people that will do 10 things at a time and then they finally don't accomplish any. 10 things that make sense. For example, like I just said about cooking, while my pot is on the fire, I'm folding my clothes or I'm doing something else, and I'm checking the pot while doing that. So by the time that the food is ready, I'm done doing my laundry, for example, or I'm done making my bed, or I'm done, like, that's just what I mean. So these are just a couple of things I do to manage my time, and it works perfectly for me. I don't know, it might work for you, it might not work for you. It just depends. Like, everybody, like I always say, everybody has different things that work for them. but I don't know, you should just try and see if it does. And if you also have different suggestions that I can use, you know guys, I'm always up for as many suggestions as possible. If you have different suggestions that you think might be helpful to me, just tell me. We're here to help each other, we're here to make each other better mommies, better parents. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do before you leave. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Love you. Bye.